There comes a moment in almost every parent's life. A quiet realization, a moment that feels emotional, unexpected, and impossible to stop. The moment they suddenly realize their child is growing up. No longer the little girl who once needed protection for everything. No longer the child running through hallways without responsibility. But someone stepping into adulthood. Someone becoming independent. And for King Felipe, that moment may feel even more emotional. Because Princess Leonor is not simply growing up. She is growing into Spain's future queen. Today, we're exploring one deeply emotional question. Was there a heartbreaking moment when King Felipe realized Princess Leonor is no longer his little girl? Because perhaps behind royal ceremonies and public appearances exists something deeply human. A father watching his daughter slowly grow up. Let's explore the little girl the world once saw. For many people, Princess Leonor still feels like the young child they remember. Standing beside her parents, holding hands, appearing shy during public events, quietly learning royal traditions. Years passed slowly, then suddenly, quickly, and something changed. The little girl people once saw slowly became a poised young woman. Confident, composed, growing into responsibility. For parents, that transformation can feel emotional. Because growth happens gradually, until one day, it suddenly feels impossible to ignore. Perhaps King Felipe experienced moments like that too. Small moments, quiet realizations, unexpected emotions. The moment responsibility became real. Imagine watching your daughter step closer to enormous responsibility. Military training, public speeches, historic ceremonies, formal duties, big expectations. These are not ordinary milestones. They signal something larger. Preparation for the future, preparation for leadership, and perhaps somewhere during those moments, reality quietly shifted. Maybe King Felipe looked at Princess Leonor differently. Not only as his daughter, but as someone preparing to carry extraordinary responsibility. That realization alone may feel emotional. Because pride and sadness sometimes exist together. Pride in growth, sadness in realizing childhood is disappearing. When parents realize time moved too fast. Here's something deeply relatable. Parents often say childhood disappears quickly. One moment feels small, the next feels grown. No warning, no pause button. And maybe for King Felipe, public milestones made that feeling even stronger. Important speeches, international appearances, military preparation, formal moments where Princess Leonor looked increasingly independent. Perhaps those moments quietly whispered something difficult. She's growing up, and no matter who someone is, king or not, that realization may feel emotional. Because fathers never completely stop seeing their daughters as children, even when the world sees adulthood. The possible emotion behind quiet public moments. Sometimes emotions appear quietly, a glance, a smile, a moment of pride. Public appearances occasionally show meaningful family moments. And while no outsider knows private emotions, many people naturally wonder what parents feel watching change happen so quickly. Did King Felipe ever quietly feel emotional seeing Leonor step into responsibility? Possibly, because growing up often feels bittersweet. Beautiful, necessary, but also difficult, especially when someone important begins needing you differently than before. Not just a princess, a daughter. Sometimes people forget something important. Before Princess Leonor became Spain's future queen, she was first a daughter, a child, someone learning life. And before King Felipe became simply a monarch, he became a father. That human side matters, because titles don't erase emotions. Even royal families experience ordinary moments. Pride, worry, love, protectiveness, the quiet sadness of watching childhood disappear. And perhaps that emotional reality feels relatable to so many people. Because almost every parent understands change. Even if circumstances look different. The emotional weight of letting go. Growing up changes relationships. Children become independent. Responsibilities increase. Life expands. And parents slowly shift from protecting every step to watching from farther away. That transition can feel hard. Even beautiful moments carry emotion. Because letting go doesn't mean loving less. Sometimes it means loving differently. And perhaps the truth feels especially meaningful for someone preparing to watch their daughter step into history. Not simply adulthood, but leadership, national responsibility, an extraordinary future. Maybe the hardest part is knowing the world watches too. Now imagine all of this happening publicly. Millions observing milestones, commenting on change, watching growth happen in real time. That emotional transition already feels difficult for parents. Now imagine sharing pieces of it with the world. Perhaps that makes moments feel even more meaningful. And maybe more emotional. Because every major step quietly reminds someone. The little girl is growing up. Fast. So, was there a heartbreaking moment when King Felipe realized Princess Leonor is no longer his little girl? The truth is, nobody outside the family truly knows. But perhaps the answer exists in many small moments. A speech, a ceremony, a quiet expression, a realization that childhood slowly became adulthood. Because while the world may see Spain's future queen, perhaps a father still sometimes sees the little girl he once protected. And maybe that emotional truth feels impossible not to understand. What do you think? Do parents ever fully stop seeing their children as little kids? Or does that feeling stay forever? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal stories, hidden truths, and fascinating discussions.